Beautiful.
Probably more like 2 now.
Yeah, we're down to 1.5.
Am I one of them?
Well, there's 4 of us in the room other than him. So
Yeah.
We'll talk later.
I'm out. I'm out.
the odds are pretty good.
So where'd you go fishing and where was the fire?
Actually, I ran into our buddy Phil up there.
Oh, fucking Phil.
Flippin' Phil. Yeah. Flippin', whatever.
Flippin'
Maybe
Phil.
worse. Yeah, is this a, do we have to keep it PG on here? Is that
No.
No,
family
you don't.
friendly? Yeah, no, we Blue River is where we were. It's kind of slow.
Jurassic
jumped over
Park?
Yeah,
Nice.
kind of the bottom part, and then jumped over to the Colorado River.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but yeah, it was wild. Like Idaho Springs, probably I don't know 7 in the morning. There was this big all this smoke coming out of nowhere, and we had stopped at Starbucks, and it just kind of like shut down for a second, and all the employees were looking out the window, and yeah, sure enough, there was a forest fire going on, and
Yeah.
we still saw some smoke going on the way back, but no flames. So hopefully they
Crazy.
got it under control. But yeah,
Yeah, we need more snow
yeah, bad.
for sure.
I know all about that forest fire shit. Sucks.
Yeah. Who were you fishing with today?
Yeah, it's been wild. One of my friends, his name's Bo. You guys would get along great. But,
Right on.
he's new to the fly fishing game, and I mean, he's going for it. Yeah. He'll be the first one to tell you he's garbage, but he's got all the nicest stuff. And,
That's why we get along? Is that what you're trying to say?
yeah, he's the best looking one out there for sure.
Love
I
it.
mean, don't all the good looking guys get along?
Pretty much.
Isn't that how that works?
Right.
Yeah.
Like I said, 3 out of 4.
Who do we have
All
on
right.
there?
Hey,
What's that,
my name is Gary. I'm over in Arizona, up in Prescott, Arizona. So
Prescott, sure. So you must be a golfer too.
no, I took up fly fishing because it's not popular because there's no place to fish here.
Not golfing.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm not a golfer. How many of us are golfers in this group? I don't even know.
I chuck some balls around.
I've
every now and
never
then.
been on a golf range once sober, and the only thing I did was crash carts and go to the driving range.
Yeah, you proved it when you
Little
said
bit,
a golf
golf.
range instead of a golf course. So you proved you're not a golfer.
Her-
What about you, Dave? You hit or not? I don't even know if you play, Dave.
A little bit. I used to. I don't much anymore.
Yeah, me neither.
I suck at it.
Believe it or not, I was actually on a high school golf team.
Of course you were.
Wow.
Yeah.
They needed caddies, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, and I was the guy.
Water boy, caddies, golf driver. What do you need, coach? I'm there.
Yeah.
Do you have a handicap?
Yeah, he had a handicap,
Yeah.
all right.
It was golf.
Oh,
yeah.
Have you ever fished with him?
He is
Welcome to
handicapped.
the club. There you go. And he's wearing your shirt and
Let's
hat.
talk about handicap.
We got video to prove it.
Yeah. Yeah. How did that turn out?
It's
We,
good, man. It's still in the works. So
He's been too lazy to send it to me.
It's a slow edit.
Innovative podcasting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that didn't sound very convincing.
who's ringing?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's like, yeah.
Yeah, by the way, let me turn my phone off too.
So what did you guys do today? Did you guys float, or are you waiting, or what?
Yeah, we were moving a little slow today. We had my buddy's it was his daughter's 3rd birthday, so of course we were hammered. so
The
we,
requirements.
yeah,
Happy
we got a
birthday.
little late start today, but so we were waiting.
Oh, nice. How'd you
Yeah,
guys do?
we had
Did
to
you
be
guys catch
back.
some fish?
I've had better days. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
For sure. But I tell you what, we pulled up and everybody was wearing a lid rig in the parking lot, which was pretty cool to see.
Right on.
You
Very
spread
cool.
out that many
Yeah.
already? You gave away that many shirts?
Yeah, right. It's like Halloween all the time. You get a litter and you get a litter.
Apparently, Ryan and Dave and I weren't in. I'm sorry,
Rob.
Rob and I were not in that parking lot because we don't have it.
No.
Yeah, we'll get that. I think Dave's got a magical code. We should steal from him.
If you don't mind me giving it out, I'll send it to him. I'll put it in the
Yeah,
chat.
I'm gonna have to change that.
No
I'm gonna put a
shit.
line on that.
That probably a really good requirement to like anything you give Dave, just make it like a dead end.
Yeah, it's good for
Also-
24 hours.
That-
All of a sudden, your bank account starts to look good. Why is that changing?
That's funny.
Why did Lindgren
Where-
go out of
where,
business, Dave?
Yeah. No, Dave's been. Actually, all you guys have been phenomenal. And I really appreciate the support. And it's come a long way from the real version one that nobody's really seen. So
Mhm.
thank you guys, and we'll definitely get you dialed in with some shirts and lid rigs and stuff too.
Yeah, I mean, if you give it to me, I
Look as
swear
cool
all I'll
as
do is
Dave.
wear it. I'll wear it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
yeah.
once in a while, I don't know, cheap promotions or we're not ashamed. We'll do stuff like that.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to get more in the works. I've been assistant lead with Project Healing Waters in the Mid Willamette Valley. We're in the works of
Yeah.
getting all of our gear sets with your lid rig on there, and so that way we have, I think, 13 sets. So when we take guys out, we supply with 100% everything: waders, from waders to boots to rods to clippers to nippers.
Oh, just tell me what you need.
And so
Yeah,
I mean,
That's
it's just
awesome.
like our biggest thing, because I know I've talked to you about this before, is like we're big. I do a lot of crossover from drift boating to pontoon boating to shore, and I'm constantly have stuff on me. And like the first day
Yeah.
I had your nippers, I was like, you know what? Ryan talks so big about the magnet and stuff like this. I'll try it. About chucked it off the boat the first 5 minutes. I'm not gonna lie to you. So
He does have a
used,
temper.
I'm so used to nipping and just letting go, and then it's just
Oh.
like,
Oh,
shit! And I
got you.
caught it.
Yeah.
And I threw it back out, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, so I had to throw mine on the lanyard, otherwise I fucking
Yep.
be on the bottom some fucking water.
You need the leash.
Muscle
Yeah.
memory.
Yep.
Muscle memory for sure.
Yep.
That's what.
It's just like,
No,
'cause
I get it.
But I like it because one, they're small.
Yeah.
And it's all that. I love how the size of it, it doesn't get in the way. Even with my lanyard on, I don't have any problems, because that's the only thing around my neck. And it's just like, I hate those ones that are just either they're bulky or they just suck. I mean, it's just like there's ones out there that just absolutely are trash. But it's like, and I
There's
beat the crap out of my stuff. I mean, I don't know how many times I've sat at the shoreline. You could ask, especially Ryan. I break everything I have. I mean, if it could break, I break it. And I don't want weak crap. I mean, it's just like I use it, and I'm constantly on the go. And I don't know how many times I've just grabbed my stuff, and my truck will be up there, and I'm just offshore, and I'll just chuck it into the back of the truck, and because it's like I'm moving to the next area. It's all about you can't catch a fish if your shit's not in the water. And I love it, man. It
yeah.
just beats the crap
People
out of
keep telling me that.
It's a fact. That's fun.
But here's I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not. So this is the
That's
very
a V1.
first lid rig. This is
Wow. What
yeah.
a trip. That's cool to see.
Dang, look at
So
that.
there's a screw in there, 2 little springs and ball bearings,
Ah. So you did have springs
And-
once.
and the see if I have one. The clip part was even worse. You had to basically clamp it onto your hat if you wanted it up there. So but yeah, I mean, bringing up the lanyard, right? So I sent this around to a bunch of people to test out, and that was a big complaint. The company's lid rig. Most people do wear it on their lid or hat, but to have the lanyard option, right, is
Oh yeah.
is crucial.
And your opening's big
'cause
enough to hold the lanyard. That was what nice, because most of these
Yeah.
asshats out there throw, oh, it has a clip for a lanyard. Yeah, maybe if you're using like 3x or something to run through that shit or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
my lanyards, there hasn't been one out there that any of my lanyards that I run that it won't clip to, and then it makes it really convenient.
So what's next
Well,
for
and
lid
you're
rigs,
gonna
Scott?
like this. I was just gonna say you're gonna like this next product.
Oh yeah.
Should be, it's coming in hot. It
Oh.
just finished. The final mold on it, but it's how do I explain it? I need to work on my elevator pitch here, but it's basically a silicone magnetic streamer box, and it's got. So we're not talking like fridge magnets. Like this thing.
You're running like a good earth magnet, strong and up and going.
Well, yeah. So I found this. It's so the insert instead of foam will actually be like a magnetic silicone. It's kind of revolutionary as far as magnetic technology goes. Pretty hard to find, and I was actually messing around today with flipping Phil. Friggin' Phil. But some of the other boxes out, he was shaking his box, but the flies weren't staying on the magnet. So it's like, what to me? What's the point? So make it bigger, make it more versatile. I think it's going to be killer for skip. It's basically you can chuck anything at it and it's going to stick to it.
Cool.
If it's got metal in it. Should be good for fly tying desks as well. I'm thinking skiffs.
Oh hell yeah!
Salt guys were liking.
That's our biggest thing here is we have big water, and so I'm from Oregon, so it's all about freaking big water trip boats, throwing shit on a cooler. Man, if you had something like that on a cooler and just be able to throw it out and rotate it through, that'd be fucking epic. Because like I said, dude, I'm an Oregon boy. We beat the shit out of our stuff. And it's just like we don't have time for weak crap.
Yeah, this is going to be a game. I think more of a game changer than the lid rig itself, and that's kind of from a lid rig perspective. That's my MO. I mean, I'll make. I feel like a lot of companies make products to solve a very specific issue.
Yeah. Where
I look at it more like, here's a great example. So this thing, the mag band, right? It's a slap bracelet, like the kid's toy.
Yep, I remember getting the shit kicked out of me with those things when I was little.
For wearing it?
No, it's just like
we're slapping it on.
Yeah, just from them, just people slapping the shit out of you with them. Like, oh, let's see if it'll go around.
But this thing, I tell you what, it's incredible how versatile it is. I mean, from your fly tying desk, you can stick it to your car, hold your rods up. Right? I wear it on the wrist on the water for quick fly changes. I attached one to a strap up here, right? So it's just a quick fly patch. So, I mean, that's kind of my MO. I don't care how you use the products. I know you'll use them, right? But it's cool to see how, guys are figuring out stuff that I never even thought of, right, with it. So, it's fun. And you guys are a great example of that. I mean, I think we all met through Instagram, right? And give me your feedback. It's instant feedback, right? What do you like? What do you not like? What do I need to change? How do I need to adapt as a company, as a product, whatever. But yeah, we're just getting started, I think. But
heck yeah,
this magnetic vein, I think, is where we're gonna stick and explore and kind of push some more boundaries with.
I like it. I mean, so like I think honestly, I mean, because I'm just the kind of guy that gives you an honest opinion. The only problem I've ever had with even your nippers was when I'm chucking shit around, I'll get rocks in there, and it could be a pain in the ass to get them out. Other than that, I've never had an issue. I honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
I don't. I give two shits about the rocks. If they're in there, I'm either crushing that rock with that thing or it's gonna break, and it hasn't broke yet.
Yeah.
it's and
Well-
it's just like it gets ground. I'm pretty sure it's full of rocks, like sand right now, and it's just like I just crunch it, and I hear the crunching when I'm nipping, but they still nip. So I'm just like I don't care.
Yep.
I mean, I've sold thousands upon thousands of these things, and you and Dave are the only two people that have mentioned that.
Really?
So,
Man,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, and
some
so
type of conspiracy. I don't know.
I don't know if we're just
Maybe.
like
No.
knuckle draggers and dragging our shit through rock piles.
Drag
or
my
what.
shot through there. Yep, I do.
Sounds like a personal problem to me. I
With
don't.
me.
Yeah.
No, actually, the a quick way to alleviate that is just take your shirt or a cloth, pinch it, run it through, and it'll clear it out.
I'm too lazy to fucking do that. I'm not gonna.
Hey,
lie.
what about color? What about color change? Because I dropped mine.
Yeah.
Not this. I dropped another pair of mine this year. I just backtracked looking for it, and I found it, and they were bright blue. My nippers.
Hmm.
They were black. There's no way I'm going to see that in the water if I drop it. So I don't know if you were thinking
Yeah.
of color changes or adding or something like that. That'd be great.
Yeah,
I
so
don't know if
there's
that's-
yeah, the black was, I mean, startup life, right? You kind of
yeah, it looks good. Yeah.
learn as you go, and but the next round I have coming the magnets. There's a lot of little tweaks that, you know, to Joe Schmo that you're probably not going to notice. The biggest one is colors. We're going to have hopefully three or four different colors. And that black is actually PVD coating, so it serves a purpose. But you'll probably notice it gets a little scratched up, which I thought was going to be a problem. But the feedback, people like the fact that it's a tool. It's not a pretty trout pattern.
Yeah.
It's made to get beat up, right?
Yep.
And I think there's the industry in general kind of went a little heavy on some of that. And I'm new to the sport, and maybe I've got a different. I think differently than most people, but I don't care what my nippers look like. At the end of the day, some people do, right? But with that said, again, it's like the lanyard. If people want to put it on a lanyard, you can, right? If you want different colors, I'm going to do it. And the diamond coating part on the clip is going to go underneath, actually, which if that may, oh, here, I'm wearing one. So right now the diamond coating's up here, right? To sharpen a hook or the actual nipper blades, right? Like that. So I'm moving this underneath here. So this part will be diamond coated, right? Which will then prevent scratching of the actual lid rig unit itself.
Gotcha.
And then that'll open up branding opportunities to put, shop logos, podcast logos, hint, hint,
Heck yeah.
on.
That's
on
what my
that.
initial thought was. But
Nice.
I think you kind of hit the nail on the head too. It's just like so many companies right now are going more for the look style. I mean, and there's definitely a field for it. I mean, it's just like me personally, I look at nippers, reels, rod, they're a tool. They're not there to, I'm not going to drop a shitload of money, Dave, on reels
Right.
that look pretty. I mean,
Sometimes you don't have to. You just
yeah.
gotta be a really good streamer tire.
Yeah, that's right. You just gotta work out trades with people.
and so it's just like the average person out there. It seems like nowadays everybody is all about how pretty your gear is. I'm just like I want
Yeah.
I want something that fucking works.
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
it's gonna hold up with me and stuff. So yeah, and like I said, there's definitely a field and there's definitely a time and place to have something pretty. Take pride in what you got. I'm just shit. My rod's blocked out, my reel's blocked out. I love the black. All my shit's blocked out, so I'm happy. So I mean, but I definitely understand the old guys like Gary that need fucking a high vis nippers when he drops it at his feet because he probably can't even see his shoes.
Well, I mean, my fingers are so big, and since I man hands, not the little children hands like you guys have all got, or boy hands. Yeah, with age becomes strength. You know what I mean? You guys will figure that out.
So
Yes.
Scott,
The tools.
for those that are listening and watching, me and Dave, I know we sat down, drank a couple beers, and had like a 20-minute conversation about this one night. Can you show us the proper way to sharpen the blades on these things? Because we both did it a different way and both effective, but what's the proper way? What's the lid rig way?
Hey,
You're
as long
gonna have
as
to
long as
talk
it's
through it.
effective, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk through it too
No, I
for
mean,
those
there-
that aren't watching.
They started out with they were drinking, so there's part of the problem.
Yeah. Good point. Hey, let me grab one here. So, what most people seem to do is you just take the lid rig, pinch it closed, and just run it flat right over the surface.
Okay.
That's option one. Or you can take the clip. This is how I typically do it, but take the clip off, right? And there's a slight, you might not even notice it to the naked eye, but there's a slight angle on the blade.
Yeah.
So if you just take the clip, just run it like that on each side.
Okay.
So you're just getting, it's kind of like a knife blade,
Yep.
is what I like to tell people. And then that should be all. You shouldn't even really need to sharpen it, just given the steel grade and all that. But if you do, right, what I just showed you should take care of it. But you can also go on the inside. So take the clip. This is tough. This is why I haven't done a video on it yet. But so add an angle right on the inside. Just 1, 2, 3 maybe.
Okay.
And that's super sharp right there.
So when you put the diamond coating on the back side, show us how's that going to work? Is there enough surface area there to make all that work?
There wasn't, but there will be.
Oh, you're making more room.
Yeah, good. And it's going to be a little more protruded. So right now, you'll probably know and I learned this the hard way. The clip, you don't want that falling off your hat, right?
No.
Like that's crucial. So we might have gone a little overboard.
Yeah, shit's pretty tight. I'm not lying.
The strength.
It is.
Yeah. So this next round, that's going to get a little easier to swap out to different hats and stuff like that. Minor metal density tweaks, stuff like that. But
yeah, and also
go ahead.
Another cool thing about the rig is it's so much more than just a clipper, right? So you have a hook eye clearer on there. I use that thing all the time, especially like if I like I tie a lot of my own in, so I usually get a little cement or something in the eye, so that comes in handy all in one tool just to clear out that eye real quick.
Learn how to tie better.
Yep.
Yeah,
Or I
right.
could learn how to tie better. Probably not going to happen. But also, the sharpener on the hat also has a little beer opener on it, which is super convenient.
Oh, you found that?
So it's the only reason he bought the lid rig.
Yeah.
For a beer opener.
a beer opener with nippers, awesome.
Yeah. That's
That's
emergency
funny.
situations. Yeah.
Yep. Nah, very cool, man. Very
Well,
cool. So you
but
got one.
don't take glass on the river.
No.
Don't endorse that.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So do you want to walk us through like how did this idea come into your head? Like what was the background story behind Lidrick?
Yeah. back to the golf, I guess, huh, Gary? But
Makes
I
sense.
was, yeah. I like to joke around. I mean, it's the fly fishing version of the golf ball marker, right?
Yep.
High level. You had a couple beers. That's what I would tell somebody.
Mhm.
But I was at my brother's bachelor party, and it was a weekend deal up in Vale. First day we played golf, and he gave us all, custom ball markers. And the second day we went fishing. I'm a garbage fisherman stuck in a tree, and couldn't reach my nippers, my really expensive, pretty nippers that I just bought, and ended up I took off the ball marker and used that to get to my line to cut it out, and then about 6 Coors Lights later, here we are. So
Nice.
yeah, but I mean, it's a simple idea, but you back into it from a business perspective. So, me back then being newer to the fly fishing industry, it made zero sense to me why I just paid this much for nippers, and why do I need to replace the blades on them? Like, what am I going to do? Call them in the middle of the river when I need new blades? Not like,
Good point.
and so, when you look at it from a business perspective, it started to make sense versus just, a lot of people have ideas. And at the end of the day, again, I joke, it's fingernail clippers on your head, right? How hard could that be? Is what most, and everybody's got a way to fix it or an opinion on it. But turns out it's pretty freaking hard to, metal densities, price points, getting it into shops, getting the correct. I mean, there's one thing to have the idea and a whole nother component to execute on it, and which is the fun part for me. So maybe I'm just sick in the head, but but pulling up to a parking lot today and seeing everybody wearing lid rigs,
That's cool.
I mean, I could die a happy man,
That is cool.
like, yeah.
Well, hell, your podcast, half the guys are wearing it.
Only
There you
half.
go.
Joe. Yeah, I said only half. Only half.
He said only half.
There's one.
I'll
There's
take
one exception
that.
over there.
Cool, dude. So how long you been fishing for, Scott?
So I grew up fishing in general. Grew up on a lake out here, but that's catfish, carp, pike,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. You got the power bait going, and you take it, yeah. So I've always been around it, but fly fishing, I probably 6 years now, heavily into fly fishing. I had always gone. I actually I just did not understand or like or appreciate fly fishing for the longest time. And I've got 2 brothers, and the middle brother, he's the actual fly fisherman. He's the fisherman of the family. I won't even claim that title, but he's a persistent son of a gun. And, it's like golf. Like if you go, it's horrible to learn, but once, once something clicks, you're a golfer for life, right?
Oh, yeah.
And
It's one of
same
those
experience with
sports
fishing.
that you don't half-ass.
Yeah, it's you versus yourself in a way, right?
Yep.
Like that's the attractive part
Yeah.
about it for me. And I've been blessed to, with the lid rig experience here. I mean, I've been bouncing around all over the place, fishing crazy new spots and learning a whole bunch of new techniques. And I mean, it's I don't tie flies. I wish but I can appreciate the heck out of it. And, a lot of that starts with like Ryan tied me a bunch of streamers that you guys put us in touch. And I mean, how cool would that be to tie your own fly and catch a fish with it. I don't know. I've never done it.
It's pretty
But
cool.
It was
Yeah.
it was
All
just
four of
as
us can
cool
say,
for
yeah, it's
me
cool.
to-
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah, yeah. But I know Ryan, and I know the effort that he put into this fly that just caught me this awesome fish. Like,
It's full circle, dude. It's awesome. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
yeah, it's a phenomenal community,
Yeah.
just in general. That I'm coming out. I built a healthcare tech company, and before I did this, and I mean, it's just night and day. The people, the personnel, the approach, I've sent lid rigs to customers, people that buy lid rigs online, like some guys in, Boone, North Carolina or something, tags lid rig, and he's like, oh yeah, I walked into my shop and, they were asking about it, blah, blah, blah. It's like, great, I'll send you an extra one, go drop it off for them, and, sells itself from there, thankfully, which has been fun. But it's a tight knit community, and the fact that I can just send somebody a free lid rig and be confident that they'll stay true to their word and go drop it off at a fly shop and not steal it. Incredible. We need more of that
Oh yeah.
these days. So
For sure.
Hey, how old is the lid rig? How long have you been working on this? 3 years, 5 years?
it depends on who you ask.
How about your first sale? What was your first sale?
I'm going to take a quick drink here.
All right, we'll take a commercial break here.
There we were.
So-
1995.
Brought to you by Bear Creek Distillery.
There you go. Nice.
Well, so when I first got going, probably 4 or 5 years ago, but that's idea phase, right? Like I had the idea, found a vet working out of his garage, getting his life back on track. Make me 50 of these things. Here's what I got. This is what I had. This is what I paid a ridiculous amount of money for 50 of these crappy things that I had to fully assemble and start. Like, I mean, I don't know how to work a CNC machine, but I did everything else, kind of thing. But so I sold these. I was wearing this around. Had the idea. The first 2 shops I walked into cleaned me out. Bought all 50, and that's when it kind of turned into. I was shocked, first and foremost, but that's when I started to take it a little more serious, and I knew this was a prototype in my eyes, and it could be a lot better. So, but the actual product, there's another one right here that you guys might have seen at some point. So they used to be gray, and these came back with the wrong magnets in them. So they were just falling off left and right. And, that was not fun. Yeah. But, people seemed to like the concept still, right? So they were interested. I was selling them, and that was probably a little over 2 years ago. And I said, okay, so sorry, stick with me. I'm going to fix it. I'll make it right. And believe it or not, there was not one person that was like, screw you, I want my money back, which was mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
Because I honestly, I don't know if I would have done the same thing. But so I think with these black ones and being in shops, it's been probably a year and a half, I would say, and we're running lean over here, and we're just getting. I've met with everybody, all the big players in the game. You name the company, I probably sat down with them. But there was one in particular that kind of changed my outlook on what I was doing as far as building a company, and I went into this originally thinking, okay, I've made a better mousetrap. I've got one product that maybe I could license out to people or different companies. Did that with a few, and it was interesting because they started getting so many emails like, "Hey, screw you guys! You're knocking off Lid Rig. Like what did you steal their idea?" And
It's a brutal.
and
It can get brutal in the fly fishing industry when somebody sees
Yeah.
somebody.
So that's just
else.
that's loyalty screaming at you
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
there.
Right.
That's
Right.
good for you. That's cool.
yeah, no, that's how I took it. Yeah, it didn't help me financially, right? But
but what it's
helped
worth,
boosted my ego. Boosted my
Yeah.
ego.
There you
for
go.
sure.
you go tell the wife, listen to this, honey. Where's the dog? I'm sure he'll care.
Yeah. Yeah. Get over here, Spike.
Now sit down, Daddy has something to tell you.
Yep. And it's pretty cool too, man.
Yeah.
Because what else you got? I mean, you got a few other things besides just the nippers on the website, huh? What else you got up on there?
Lots of
Yeah.
clothing.
Clothing's come a long way. I mean, well, and that's, I guess, the point. I started, I went into a meeting, he said, super cool, but it's one product. So we like the product, but it's going to be hard to work with you because you're just one product. So taking that feedback, you know, I pushed myself and to explore other products. And, you know, the first run of that exploration was this, right? It's nothing crazy, but it is so effective. I mean, I've sold more of these than I ever would have guessed, right? So, and I think it can only get better, right? There's some improvements I can make to this, right? But, and then back to the next big one that I'm super excited about is this magnetic box that, from a manufacturing perspective, but it's kind of the Lid Rig. I mean, it's interesting. Like you have your $5 nippers, right? And then to jump to 75. I mean, but there's companies selling it for way more than 75.
Joe, Dave, you have one of those, don't you, Dave?
Nope,
Oh,
I actually don't.
Not-
wow.
I got plenty
Yeah.
of their reels, but not their nippers.
Yeah, and there's a few. I mean, I don't know how I can strategically say this, but I've shaken some hands that and looked people in the eyes that are way bigger than Lid Rig, and I'm pushing their buttons. I'll put it that way.
Heck yeah.
Putting a dent in their bottom line. That's okay.
That's good.
Say that again.
I said you're putting a dent in their bottom line.
I
You're
must
taking
be.
market share. Is what I'm getting
I guess. Hopefully.
at.
Hell yeah.
Good
And
for
that-
you.
That's what I love
That's-
about it. It takes. I kind of did the same thing that you're doing in the fly fishing industry into the wood carving side of my industry, because like you said, everybody and their fucking brother is building nippers. I mean, it's just like, what you got to look at it like, what can I bring to the table that is going to set this off to make it successful? And it's just like, and you got to think of little things, the magnets, the freaking, even the placement of your eye cleaner is fucking spot on, that I love, because one, I'm not getting jabbed by it. I always break those fucking things off all the time. Yours is actually the first set of nippers I've had that still have the freaking eye cleaner on it, because I haven't broke it off yet. And it's just like little things like that. I deal with the same thing with when I'm freaking carving flags. It's like, okay, this market is saturated. How am I going to be able to make some kind of ripple in the water to be that different guy, but bring a similar product?
Well, And as much as you look at the product itself, from what I've learned, like if that needle were to break, you're gonna call me and you'll get a new one in the mail that same day.
I think
Right,
mine just
where-
broke, Scott.
Mine's broken.
Yeah, it just
Yours
broke.
just broke
delete
too.
that.
Here,
Edit that
let me go
out.
get my pair of pliers
Holy
real
shit.
fast.
Look at it, just fell out. Dang it, it fell out.
What is in there?
Damn, that's the
Whiskey.
second one that's broke, actually.
Golly.
A
Weeded
bunch of
bourbon?
money.
I never use mine, Scott. I never use my eye cleaner because I don't put glue in my eyes like some people on this podcast.
Oh man.
That's great. I totally forgot what I was saying before.
Yeah.
It
So what
was-
happens?
It
If you-
happens.
What
Sure,
happens if
really
you pull the little
profound,
screw
yeah.
out?
Let's do it. Mine's
Um,
screwdriver.
Oh, okay. Just to finish that thought real quick, like it's more about the customer service, or it's just as much about customer service as it is about the product, right?
100%.
Like the fact that you have to pay for replaceable parts or blades with some other company, it's just absurd to me. Where I'm trying to build this organic, it's by the people for the people product, right? Like that's what I'm interested in.
Oh,
I'm not,
100%.
and I think that's been lost on with some of the bigger players out there.
And it
But,
has. And
um,
whether they intentionally did it or not, once you hit a certain size, if you don't take the time to take a step back and realize you're there because of the people that you're selling to. If it wasn't for the customers, we'd all be shit out of luck. We can make
Yeah.
the prettiest stuff
Yep.
on the earth, but if the customers aren't buying it, doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so
I remember Scott, when when we were on the boat, you had asked me, you're like, what do you think of Lidrig? Like, is it a product? It's more of a community. It's a I think that's exactly what it is. It's way more of a product. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a team. So
Yeah, and that I didn't. That was the last thing I thought it would be. Getting started, so it's humbling to even hear you say that, and pretty freaking cool from where I'm sitting. Like that's. Am I rich? No, but to me that's success. Like I've created something that people want to be a part of, and actually to the parking lot today, to seeing people using something that you came up with your brothers on a river drinking beer, right?
Heck
Like that's
Good
success
stuff.
to me.
Yeah,
Good
it's good
stuff
stuff.
for
Yeah.
sure.
what he didn't
Yeah.
mention is the parking lot was full with his truck. So that just made everybody in that parking lot have his truck.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
I love it.
everybody was in my car.
Yeah.
when we pulled up. Yeah.
So I am kind of
Yeah,
curious.
actually, Dave and Ryan. My thing is Dave and Ryan can vouch for this. So when we went fishing, like a month ago maybe, my thing is I gave them each a lid rig, and I said, "Well, Ryan, you remember what I'm talking about?"
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
All right.
yeah. So you gave us the rigs, man, and basically he's like, at the end of the day, these rigs aren't going to be on the boat anymore. So it was up to us to find someone on the river, man, and that's like I was saying, growing that community and tossing out products to people. And there was a guy with a guide, they had pulled up to the parking lot, and I went over and gave it to him, man, and this dude was just ecstatic. He was so excited because like the guide was like, "Oh man, like that thing's awesome, I got one." He pulls his out, and next thing you know, everyone has one, and yeah, he was so happy about that.
Hell
That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that to me that's making somebody's day, right? Like to anybody outside of the fly, like you just gave that guy expensive fingernail clippers, maybe, right? Like
Yeah.
to Joe Schmo, right? But like to an actual fly fisherman or somebody that likes to fish, like it's a crucial tool that is way different, and they appreciate the heck out of it. which, and so for you to give that to somebody, right? Like that's my marketing plan right there. You know, I'm not going to spend boatloads of money on ads, and it has turned into a community, like especially with Instagram, and you know, I'm just reposting your guys' everybody's cool pictures, and they just happen to be wearing a lid rig, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm a garbage fisherman. I don't catch many fish, so thank goodness there's some legit fishermen that like it.
That's because the magnets
dude,
don't hold the
so-
power bait on your flies. You got to figure that one out still.
Yeah. We can work. I'll add that to the list.
All right, good.
Very nice. Cool, dude. So let's talk some fishing, man. So since we met up, you've been doing anything or other than today, or how's it been over there?
No, I mean, I started this. So after the healthcare tech company and all that, it's like, you know, what do I want to do next? What could I be passionate about? Fly fishing, right? And so I started this thinking this would get me fishing more, and it's done the exact opposite. So, yeah. And again, I mean, it's thank goodness people use it, and it's turned into this thing, this culture. Maybe that might be pushing the boundaries, but
Colt.
it's I don't get a fish as much as today was rare, and it was a slow day for me, and the last time was with you guys maybe a month ago. So no, I take that back. I went to Louisiana and did some fishing, which was incredible.
Yeah, I've seen those pictures.
Yeah,
Damn.
did you get yourself a red down there or what?
Looks like a few of them.
Yeah,
Very nice.
yeah, it was that changed my perspective for sure.
That looks like fun.
Yeah, I mean, I went down there. I'm from Colorado. You know, it's great for fly fishing and all that. But the reason I went down, market research at the end of the day, like it's the same kind of thing. Like to me, I'm as much as it is about the fish catching the reds, which was an incredible experience. I get off on watching people use lid rig and like just handing it to a guide, right? And I don't say anything, and I just can they put it on their hat, right? I mean, like that's where it starts. How do they use this? And so, like a good takeaway is the lanyard hole, like right here.
Mm-hmm.
I started watching guys put the hooks on there, right? To
tighten their
tighten.
lines.
Oh yeah, I've done that.
Yeah. I haven't.
Mhm.
Right? But so to me, that's just as much the fishing experience nowadays as it is catching the actual fish. And but with that said, yeah, I mean, chasing those reds, whole new perspective.
Yeah,
I mean,
bet.
incredible.
Yeah,
So.
dude, it does, and that's kind of funny that you bring that up because I actually, especially when I'm running articulated, and I gotta tie it on, I'll put my hand like this, throw the second hook through there, and then close it. That way, I have full control of where that hook is now instead of going
That's
in my hand.
smart.
I can go like that,
Oh,
tie everything
really?
up, unhook it, turn around, nip it, and then pull it tight, and then then it goes around my neck. So yeah,
Brilliant.
Genius.
I use it all the
Get this
time.
guy a marketing job, huh?
Right? Another demo coming
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, because I can
Yeah.
control the front hook of the streamer in my hand because it lays flat, but that back hook, I don't know how many times it's either hooked me down here or up here. I can grab it, spin it where I want it, and then then I have a good grip on it, and it's just like wherever that black
Yeah.
mark is where that hook is, and it's just a
Yep.
friendly reminder.
You know what he's talking about, Gary? An articulated streamer?
No,
You
he
know what that
doesn't.
is?
No, I do not. I stay away from those things. It sounds painful.
Well, the good thing is Gary. So Gary's not a big streamer guy, as you can tell.
At all.
just,
But,
just look at him.
But I
Good
found
No!
my
He's just a
Listen,
big guy.
These guys know the joke. You want to see my streamer? I got to go to the dryer and get the vent down.
Yeah.
And I'll get my streamers out. Right? That's the joke. If I can't find any dust, I'll use a sock in there. Wife gets pissed. It's usually hers. She has to pay your socks. So I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your.
But what I'll do, I mean, you already have the clippers in your hand, right? Like when you're cutting off a dryer or niff, and you clip it. Well, I am notorious because I have like this little Velcro patch on the side of my sling pack, and I put flies on there, and they're usually not there at the end of the day because they fall off. So what I'll do is if I'm just swapping around, like just say like maybe changes colors or sizes, that lid rig will hold a couple flies like strongly. Like they're not going anywhere. I'll throw them on top of the clippers, throw it back in the hat, and now I don't have to worry about it falling off.
You can
Yeah.
comfortably go
I-
up to 18.
Crucial.
It's about
Yep.
it's about the size. 2 18s will hold up.
Yep.
And I've gotten 4 20s on there.
Nice.
All right, you guys need this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll hold
Yeah.
The mag band.
more. Right.
Yeah.
Game
Somehow
changer.
strap it to the bag. That's what we need to do. Somehow.
Well,
Yeah.
like my initial instinct, that dude having that slap
There you
strap,
go.
Oh, it's got a clip. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
There you go.
having that
So
slap
the
strap,
strap
is going to
will-
be epic
yeah.
on a raft.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Like right on your bar.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just like, okay, we're just gonna slap this right there. Everything's right there, and it's dude, and then
Yeah, right around the raft frame.
it's
Yep.
just like how many times. Another good way, something I think of, especially when I'm swapping it out, because I buried a sparkle minnow into my arm during a windy day. Is when you're swapping out and you have to either like get her in and out of the boat, or you're just transferring seats, throwing it down there, and then you can be able to throw your fly on that, still tied to your rod because everything's right there, and it's locked right there on the raft. It's just, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah. So I made this originally. Oh, rafts are big out here in Colorado. So I originally made this to, pour boat frames. But again, now I'm seeing it stick in the car. Like I just love the collaboration almost. Like Lid Rig is not just. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, and maybe this is why it's more of a turning into a brand or a culture, but like, maybe as the owner, I should have thought of that. But I'm the first to admit I'm not the best fisherman in the world, and there's a lot of different ways to fish, and it's by the people for the people, which is freaking incredible.
And-
from where I'm sitting.
And the nice thing is you're not. I know we all fly fish, but you're not just targeting fly fishing. Everything you're throwing out there is gear or fly. I mean, it's anything in the industry of fishing. And then I think that's what I love, because everybody gets so wrapped up in, oh, I'm a gear guy, or like my area, if you don't spay fish, you're fucking nothing. And it's just like, it's either whether you're spay or freaking you're fly fishing or
Kara, like Gary.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's chucking fucking
Thanks,
sticks
Dave.
out there, or just on the ocean with gear fishing. I mean, it's just product that you can use across the board, which is a great niche to be in, because, like I said, everybody's either so focused on one side or the other. There needs to be somebody in there for the kind of like the blue collar working guy that freaking can afford that. And that's what I love about your product. I mean, it's just, you're not
I
super
appreciate
high.
that. And that's where I want to. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I
just
mean,
like,
is there cheaper options out there? Yeah. You're going to see just this, but not this, not any, like, for almost double.
Yep.
No, more than double. Kind of dancing around that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
We get you.
I've seen it.
But
And so,
yeah, and I'm that's strategic, because I am that guy, right? Like I'm not going to spend $250 on a pair of nippers. Like that's absurd to me. And I say that now, but I guess you never know, but it's making it accessible. If you're going to spend $75, to me, that's a good chunk of change, and it better be a good product.
Yeah.
For that.
I mean,
right? Like,
because if we come down the road, whether we like it or not, it's a perishable tool. They wear out, they break, they do whatever. And so but when you spend, like, it's kind of one of those things. It's not necessarily you get what you pay for, but you do. It's like, can you get nippers for $30? Yep. And they're gonna cut? Yep. But I guarantee if you fish more than a freaking month, you're gonna get like 20 days into those damn things, and they're gonna be dull as shit. I mean, just reality. They really are. They're all gonna cut the extent, but it's how long and are you gonna get your money's worth out of it? And then that's the biggest thing to me, as not like these jackasses, as an actual paying customer. That's what I expect out of it. Now, do I expect these to last 15, 20 years? No. I don't. If they do,
will.
and that would be awesome. I hope they over expect me. But when I bought them, I expect them to do what I want to have them to do for a reasonable amount of time for the amount I spent on them. And it's just like, and I feel that you can feel the quality in them. When you feel these other ones, I've had almost the $200 nippers that my buddies had. And when you feel them in your hand, one, they're either the size of a fucking brick and they're just a pain in the ass, or they just feel like shit. And you've really hit the spot where it feels structurally sound on this. Like, I feel comfortable enough to, like, it gets chucked. And so
and it's only this next version. So the big difference between us and some of the other guys out there, like that whole each side is stainless steel, right? Like from the entire thing. You're not, which is why there's no replaceable blades needed, right? So this next version it's only getting stronger. Magnets, metal. I mean, it's going to be indestructible. So no, and I mean, just hearing you say, I appreciate that from an inventor's perspective, because it's come a long way, right? Like, this to go from this to this. I mean, I've talked to thousands of fishermen, right? And it's, I don't discount anybody's feedback ever. I'd rather have the negative than the positive feedback. Tell me how I can be better.
Yep.
Tell me what you need, right? Like, and most people can't take criticism very well, or don't want to, or they've got the greatest idea of all time, and that's that. That happens, once every blue moon maybe. But if you're not flexible, and I'm in a unique spot, which has been kind of cool to see, because I'm running lean over here, and I don't have to charge $200+ for products, right? Like, I don't have the overhead to require that price point for a lesser product, frankly. So, and people respect that. They get that, but they also respect that I'm growing, and there's right, like between this to this, huge jump, and people were so cool about it. It's like people want to grow with Woodrig, and it's like, join the train. I love it. I mean, and it's all thanks to guys like you that I'm just amazed at the support and respect and feedback. And I never thought I'd sell this many a year down the road as I have, and now it's turned into holy cow, this is gonna be a fun run. So
And as a consumer, I want to say thank you for not putting in the trend of replacement blades. It's just like
how stupid is that?
like I'm not going if I'm spending so
Well,
much
get
a
it.
certain amount of money, why am they're just telling me our product isn't going to last that long, so we adjusted it for you to replace it. Now, understand shit gets
Yeah.
dull. I mean, it does. It doesn't matter.
And then we're gonna charge you for it.
Exactly. It's like, and you solved all that. I'm going to give you the shit you need to keep your stuff sharp and to keep
Yeah.
it actively doing its job. Now, if it gets
But
dull,
no matter how much you think of, so like it gets scratched, right? Like a little bit on the right.
oh yeah,
But you have to avoid replaceable blades. That's had to happen, right? And
Yeah.
now I've the next versions, so it's only getting it's a progression.
because the nice thing
Um,
about this
but-
is if it the thing that reason why I never buy ones with replaceable blades because it's like everything else. Once you buy it, it's already outdated. The company is already trying to get better. Like once you made this one, you're already trying to think of the next step to make it better. Well, it's just why would I go buy replacement blades, have it for a year, and be like, oh, I got to replace the blades? Then you got to go back and be like, I hope they still make them. It's
Yeah.
holy shit. It's,
And ironically enough, a lot of people are buying lid rigs saying that springs are breaking, and it's not the blades that why they're switching. You
oh
know?
yeah,
And
that's what I always would end
I
up
mean-
breaking on mine because I'm apparently a fucking gravel pit, and it's just like getting little rocks in there, and you squeeze it, and the back end goes flying out, and the next thing I know, I'm chucking that son of a bitch across the fucking lake. And so, and so that's what I love. I mean,
Yeah.
I just looked and there's still rocks in there, and it's just like builds character.
yeah, which, and again, that's you got to be open to feedback. Like I fully anticipated people complaining about it getting beat up and scratched, and like I was not expecting to, but I needed a product out, right? Because I just sent a bunch of these out with the wrong magnets that was falling off people's hats, and come to find out, people like the fact that it looks beat up and all that. So right, like what you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah,
and,
right.
And that's from a manufacturing perspective, but that's also from a consumer perspective. And if I had a nickel for every time somebody told me, well I've been, and Dave I think did this too, I've been wearing it on a lanyard for 25 years. Like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool. Well, put it on your hat for an hour and let me know what you think. And I'm batting 1,000 on people. Well, except for Dave.
Except for me.
I can't
So,
I'm back to the lanyard.
I
Yeah.
will say,
Yeah.
if I'm on the river on foot, it goes on my hat. It either goes
Yeah.
on my hat
Yeah.
or
Situational.
Yeah.
It's situational.
or I
for sure.
have
Totally.
actually I have one of your plates on my chest rig also. I'll throw it on there or my
Oh,
hat.
well. Wait, how'd you do that? That's cool.
It's not actually in here. I ended up freaking using like a fusion glue to be able to get into the threads a lot better, and then I just actually threw a clamp on it and let it dry for 48 hours.
Pretty
Yeah.
smart.
Cool.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and so
Yeah.
it was I have to let you know, it's something I got from like Hobby Lobby. I was looking around, I was like, how can I attach this to just throw it on there? And I thought about just putting freaking Velcro on the back of it because I have a Velcro patch and just throwing it on there and just doing that. But I wanted it out of the way, like away from the flies, so it wasn't different. And so it was just like I'm kind of somewhat coordinated when it comes to my gear of where my shit's at. Because like I said, most of the time I don't want to look. It's like I try to get good enough to, like if it was pitch dark and I was able to fish, I want to know exactly where everything, so I don't actually have to like, oh, where's my shit
Yeah.
and stuff. So yeah, I just have it on my chest rig. It sits right on the left. I set it right here, so I know it's always by my right hand. It's kind of like being back in the army in my military. I know where my freaking meg pack is. I knew where my weapon's at. I can maneuver I can grab anything no matter what, and know exactly what pocket or what situation it was. And it makes it allows me to essentially locate it where I want it to go. So
So you hit the nail on the head. Like, and I think it sounds like we have a similar background, right? So I have a golf cart. I call it the FAB, fishing assault vehicle. You know, it's John Deere green. He's got the rod rack on top. Like, you know, I'll take that to the lake, you know, catch a catfish or whatever, a bass, and then the next day I'm up, you know, trout fishing in the mountains. And so I have, you know, one on my golf cart, all these different access points, right? Like,
yep.
And that's how I picture Lid Rig. Yeah, to Joe Schmo, it's fingernail clippers. To me, it's much more than that. It's how are you going to fish? When are you going to fish? Are you driving home from work and you have one on and you pass by a lake and you want to go try and catch that carp that you know is in there, which happens a lot. Guys tell me that all the time. And, you know, so it's where you need it, when you need it, how you need it. So, or at least that's what I'm trying to accomplish.
Oh,
so,
heck yeah.
Sounds like I might be going the right direction.
Yeah, I like it.
We think so.
Yeah, the more options, people love options because everybody's lifestyle, fish style is different, and the more options that you throw out there, is better. And that's what. And you kind of hit the kind of where I'm at. I look at your product as, like you said, the average Joe Schmo might just look at it as just fingernail clippers. You built it for them. You built it for that consumer, but it's just like people. That's why I think that the clan grew so much and so tight. Is the people that are buying them are the people that have the passion. They understand the concept. They have. You can tell the guys out there. They're not always the shiniest guys. It's the guys out there that are just grinding. And that have a true passion for the sport, that are buying the products that, one, like you said, customer service is huge, and that are like a tight knit family style, and the shit that works, and it's, I mean, I'm telling you, the shit works, and it works very well, and
I bet you've told other people that.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully.
and like I said, I'm even pushing this to be part of the Project Healing Waters, the groups. And it's nice thing is I have connections for the Pacific Northwest coordinator that I've been talking, and I'm going to be talking to too about this, because we get everybody's out there. It's like, oh, we get to help vets and all this stuff. Well, some of the shit that we get passed down sucks. I mean, it just does. I mean, it's just really, it's being honest. And so, but when you're getting a guy out there on the water for the first time, you don't want this shit to fail. You don't want him to be like half-assing this stuff. You're not going to give him the top dollar stuff like, oh, we're going to spend $5,000 on shit just to throw at you so you can use on the river for it. No, but we want stuff. I guess the best way to do it, your shit's guide proof.
Yeah.
It really is. That's what it comes down to. It's guide proof. It's kind of like that guide fly. It just works everywhere and it's very effective.
Yeah.
And it's just stupid simple.
You nailed it from a inventor standpoint. Like, I want to get through guys like you and guides. If they use it, if I could pull up into a parking lot and they're still wearing it, yeah, I gave like I look at Ryan right now, and like I gave him one, but I know he's using it. It's not like this Dave shirt that I bought and it's just gonna sit in my closet and I'll never wear it. Like,
It's great for waxing cars. I've already used mine.
yeah,
Wiping down the
it'll
dog
be
after a
great
bath.
rag. Yeah,
Like cheesecloth.
No.
Yeah. I gotta go.
yeah. Where'd
No,
Dave
dude.
go?
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
And Rob, you brought this up earlier too, man, and I'm glad you did. You talked about like the universal, like the bait and the spinner guys, the fly guys, all that. What's really cool about your product? Okay, so say your buddy goes out and buys a specific brand of rod or reel or whatever, or fly line for that matter, right? And you look at it, you're like, dang, dude, like that's nice, but man, like you spent how much on that? Like, okay, maybe one day I'd like to have that, can I toss it, whatever. And then you have something like this that's out in the open all the time, dude. Like you're kind of like walking advertisement, man. Like I've had so many people, I've had weird looks, like, what's this weirdo got on his hat? Because they have no idea. But you could tell, like the guy with like, the
it
fishing
cleans
shirt.
up at bars. Great
Yeah.
at bars, just for the record.
Yeah. Or the guy with like the fishing hat or
Great-
something.
Great icebreaker.
And you could tell they're kind of looking, and they're like, it's a good conversation starter. Like, what is that? You show them and they're like, what? Okay, cool. Like, that's awesome, man. Like, I could use one, and spinner guys said the same thing. Like, I was showing some spinner guys. I'm like, dude, I need one of those, And that's what's really cool about it is it's kind of out there for the world to see, and it's something that they can go get without really breaking the bank.
Yeah.
And when I wake up in the morning, I put my wallet in one pocket, a lid rig in the other.
Yeah.
More often than not, I mean, I'll sell that. I'll sell that lid rig from
Yeah.
somebody walking up to me saying, "What
Very
the hell's
cool.
on your head?"
That's cool.
I say, "Yeah, it's only $300."
Yeah, exactly.
Man, you giving these guys a
No.
deal?
Yeah,
But for you,
Don't talk to
300
Dave.
cash just today.
That's right.
some discount code. Yeah, no.
Take Venmo, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, so I have a question for you guys. So, from an outsider's perspective, I guess, how do you bridge the gap, right? But whatever that gap looks like or is, maybe it's non-existent, but between fly fishing and conventional fishing. So,
Who wants to
there
go
was a
first?
guy. Yeah, and I'm asking because I've seen conventional fishing. I mean, guys are moving from power bait to spending, over $1,000 on rods, right? But the fact that they're still spin casting might be looked at differently from a fly fishing perspective, and from a lid rig, it's a universal product. That's what I'm trying to build, right? And I've started in fly fishing because that's what I know and enjoy and yada yada. So, yeah, I'm curious on what your take is on all that.
Who wants to go first?
You mean as far as like swapping over?
How to get both sides, and because these guys jumped on, I guess I'll go first. Coming from
So
a big gear
So
guy.
here, and just to preface that, so like Ryan, if I posted a picture on Instagram of you with a massive trout, which you often catch, that gets a crazy amount of likes versus when I post which in my opinion is just as cool, if not cooler, of a smallmouth bass. Like why is there gap? And then, but from a product perspective, right? Like,
Gotcha.
yeah,
I got
I
you.
can now say fly fishermen like lid rig. It's proven, it's out there, right? If you kayak fish for bass, you should be wearing a lid rig, hands down. But if I post somebody in a kayak with catching a bass, right? Like there's just a gap there, and I'm
Social media is a
trying to
pain in
figure
the
it out,
ass.
I guess.
Is what it is.
Yeah,
and
I
I
hate it.
think
Yeah.
I think the best thing is just word of mouth. But I think right now, I mean, me and Ryan have talked about this. fly fishing is still a trend. Hate to say it, it really is. I mean, it's just like, and we're gonna find out here in a few years of who the guys are that are gonna stick around and who the guys aren't. But I still think it's in the trend phase, and social media is huge right now. And it just and that's why it's getting probably that's why you'll get 500 likes on the somebody holding the big brown up that's known for fly fishing, then another beautiful either pike or walleye or a bass only gets like 100, and you look at it like, what the hell? I think it really is the following itself, and it's hard to get into that other side. Fly fishing is huge on social media. Everybody wants to be a fucking fly fisherman. And
Everybody's holding up their fish.
yeah, and it's just like
Dave.
and it's one of those things that it's become very popular. And
Keep
it's
doing
the
it,
trend.
Dave.
Yeah. I
I
hope
need
to
you, Dave.
I hope to be out there freaking Tuesday. It'd be like the first time I fished since freaking August.
But if I started reverse, right? Like if lid rig was
More
big,
in the
if you
gear
saw
world.
lid rig on that Bassmasters or whatever, right? Like, would fly fishermen adopt that product? Probably not, which is weird to me, right? Like, I want to bridge that gap, and not just from a business
Oh yeah.
lid rig perspective, but I don't. I think it's. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, I think it's an unnecessary lack of respect on both sides at points for really dumb reasons.
Yep.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we're all trying to catch fish, and it's fishing, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're out. It's a hobby. It's fun. But maybe and it's more than that for me. But I'm speaking for. I mean, for me, it's a mortgage payment, right? It's food in my little man's belly. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't cracked the code yet,
I
but
love
think
that you're thinking that way.
I think it's
Because there's so in the world right now, and not to sound political or anything, in the world right now there is no more gray. You're either black or it's either black or white. There's no more gray area, and I think that's
that
what
sounds racist, man.
Yeah, it's why not leave it to that asshole?
Sorry.
But no, it's
Bad
funny.
joke.
It's true though.
Delete- Edit that.
But
Edit
it's
that
just
out.
like
No.
there's so much either you're either on the left side of the river or the right side of the river, and it's just like you look at it like whatever happened to the middle, and I think that's how the fishing industry in total look at it. You're either fly fishing or you're gear fishing. If you're one side, you're an asshole. If you're the other side, you're an asshole. It's just like, no, it's like we're all out here trying to do the same thing. And it's just like, what can we do to start incorporating that? Nobody's better than the other. They both serve their purpose. They both have a passion for it. It's kind of like rifle and bow. I mean, it's just like they're all they're all doing the same thing. How can we bind that and not have the freaking line down the middle of making people choose? Oh, well, you're not a traditionalist, or dude, I'm just out here fishing. You know what? I might be out here fishing with my kid that can't cast a fly rod, so I'm going to gear fish with him because he enjoys it when I gear fish with him. But I might jump over and go fly fishing tomorrow because that's what I love doing. And
I think
I'm tired of everything having to be one side or the other, and I love that you have that passion of I want to ride the middle. And it's just like I want to hit everybody. I don't want to just blink this.
And I'm guilty. Like today, I mean, I was fly fishing, and I mean that's all I pretty much do nowadays. But this guy comes with his spin rod, and I'm walking away fishless as I'm watching him catch a fish.
Yep.
Like, screw this guy! Like, what's he doing out here with a spin rod?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
I was gonna
son
give him
of
a
a
lid rig,
bitch.
and I didn't. I gave him one, but I mean, that's, but I caught that, why I'm asking the question is I caught myself like, why is this guy in a river using a spin rod? And on the drive home, it's like, well, he caught a fish, I didn't. And that's what we both went up there to do.
Yeah.
So who's to say who's right and who's wrong?
Dude,
Like,
I've done that probably more times than I would like. It's mostly because I'm an asshole and it pisses me off and somebody catches a fish in front of me. And and we look at it, it's very easy as a fly fisherman to look at a gear guy and be like, fuck you, dude. Because we're out there fighting the wind. We're out there trying to get 30 feet and the fish are at 32 feet. And this dude just chucked out a 50-footer. And I'm just like,
and he's saying, "Look at this idiot."
yeah. And I'm like, I'm like, and the
Yeah.
funny thing is, and I've talked to people and I've seen this and I've been on both sides. If you're out there fighting all this and you're just like with the fly rod, the gear guy is over there going, man, that looks like a lot of fun. That would be awesome. And then the fly fishing guy is sitting over there going, man, I wish it was a little simpler. I'm kind of envy of him that he can throw out that way. But it's like when we open our mouth, it's like the gear guy's like, that guy's a fucking asshole. And the fly fisherman guy is like, that guy's an asshole. Why can't we like say what we mentally think? It's like, man, I'm a little jealous of you, man. Nice job. Yeah. It's just suck it up.
I think everyone has their part, I mean, I live both sides. I think most people do, like most of us that are fly fishing today.
That's my whole point. It's like you don't just jump into fly fishing, right?
Right. Maybe some people do.
Everybody's got a Spider-Man rod at some point.
Oh heck,
Like,
I've still
Scooby-Doo,
got
baby, Scooby.
I've got a Scooby-Doo one sitting upstairs in my boy's room right now.
Those
So I
are the
think
best.
I think what you got to do, man, and this is just one opinion. So there are companies out there that I would look at and say that's a fly fishing dominant company, but that company does also sell to the gear guys as well. They do make products specifically for the gear guys, and I would look at that and be like, okay, well that's the name of like a well-known fly fishing industry, but I've also been out of the game, I mean, I still have some spinning rods. I prefer fly fishing. It's just, to me, it's
everybody does.
Yep.
I bet you every fly fisherman has a spin rod.
Yep.
Oh,
and,
for
and
sure.
Still,
but I think what you
yeah.
like from a marketing standpoint, I mean, you put your lid rig in fly shops, right? Well, then you're only marketing to fly fishermen. I know we have some of those old, fishing and gun stores, I guess, however you want to look at it. Try to get some of those products into those stores, really try to aim at the spinning guys, like the bait shops and stuff like that. And I think that would probably open it up a little bit more, and you'll start to see more bait guys, because you have it set up right now. Your products don't say fly fishing on them. You're in that gray area right now. Yep.
That's true.
Yep.
There's
So
a
you're in
method
that
to the
gray area
madness
where you can
over
be
here.
on both
Like,
sides of the river, and you could put a product in one shop and a product in another shop, and you're looking at two different styles of fishing here, and I guarantee you're going to sell that product in both of those shops. Maybe one or the other. I don't know what that looks like, but I bet you they'll sell in both shops.
But I'll tell you one thing, and Ryan hit it on the head. I've been with a couple companies that have started off. It is extremely convenient to kick something out. It's more convenient to kick something out on fly fishing than it is on spin fishing, and this is how you look at it.
Because we like our gadgets.
Well, another thing is it's you look at it, it's categorized. How many mom and pop shops out there are pushing like fly shops?
That's true. That is true.
I mean, it just, and then they have guys. I mean, they're out there. Don't get me wrong, but with the popularity, like at least in like our areas, like Colorado and Oregon and all this, they're not. I don't know any of them.
Yeah.
Like at least here now, I can tell you about 6 fly shops that you can go walk into, and they're usually like a mom and pop shop, and they'll be like, "Yeah, man, we'll promote the shit out of you." But
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it'd be like, "What am I gonna walk into Bass Pro or Cabela's and be like, hey, can I freaking sell this on your shelf?" No, you have to go through corporate, which is like 6 months worth of freaking paperwork to be able to see if they'll even gonna accept you. Oh yeah, by the way, if we do accept you, we want 100,000 of them at like a third of the price, so we can jack the price up higher than what you naturally sell them. You have more control in the fly fishing industry. It's hard to get into the spinning gear industry because of it's a multi-million billion-dollar freaking industry.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
people don't
The,
realize
the
it.
market sizes are
Oh,
so
Dude,
huge.
the bass fishing market size right now, if people truly looked into it, is remarkable.
Yeah.
It's like it
it's
blows everybody out of the water.
yeah,
But
it's absurd. But you got to so like lid rigs in these big box stores, right? So I'm not even asking from no, I take that back. I am asking for a business perspective, but I'm more interested in the why. Like, because I'm in Bass Pro and Cabela's and Shields.
Yeah.
At what point does this fly fishing community that is very loyal and tight knit say, "Oh, this guy's a sellout," which has happened, would happen, could happen. Like, but why? Because I'm a single dad out here trying to make a buck, and it is very hard to get into Bass Pro and Shields, and
Yeah, I mean,
but I did it. Like, am I a sellout?
no, because
I don't care if you think I am or not, but I mean, but it's the why.
Yeah.
I
Why
think
do you
that's-
think that?
I think
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Rob.
and because I look at it like this isn't like Ryan said before. You're not locked into fly fishing. This is a tool for fishing. And
Universal tool.
Yeah, and I think people look at it like I had it first and you can't have it. I think that's how people look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just because you started off in fly fishing, so it was a fly fishing tool. No, it's a fishing tool. I love to fly fish, but I mean, we naturally, whether we mean to or not, select where the route goes by our actions. And so with your passion of fly fishing, that was just happened to be the way style you fish. So most of the people assume this is it's hotter in the fly fishing side. Like I said, if you came out and you're like, I just gear fish, it was a perfect question. Would we even be having this conversation? Would we even be throwing this podcast out? And it's questionable. It really is. I hate to say it, but it is. It's if you came out and you were strictly, and you came out hot in the bass industry of these guys that are running all that, would we be even on this? And I'm just totally honest. I don't know. It's maybe however it because we choose our paths whether we like or not, but sometimes our path gets chosen for us.
And I think a lot of it is a community thing, you know. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that probably there's a tighter knit community in the in the fly fishing world. You know, I talked to some guys that hunt both bow and rifles as well. And I've heard the same thing. It's a more tight knit community in the bow industry than it is in the rifle
It's a
industry.
smaller industry.
Yep.
And so there's the people are tighter and everybody knows everybody.
Yep. And I think, for you, you have your story, you have your reasons. This is your company. You've already built the following. You've already done the hard legwork of it. You're not going to lose following, I don't think. But you put a product. It's about product
Never
placement,
say never.
right? So
You
put
did
your
come on this
product-
podcast, so you didn't risk it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you
Well,
put your
that's-
product in a place.
Yeah, you
I
could be
mean,
in trouble.
Ryan, I want to hear the rest of this, but bookmark this because, I mean, in today's world, it takes one wrong person with a social media following
Yeah.
to say this product sucks, and it could take a whole company down.
Which is
It
scary.
has. And it has.
Scary.
There's-
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
tell you, but there has, and there has been. There's just too much power on the media, in the media. And
Yeah.
that's that is a scary thing.
Yeah.
But your stuff is an easy crossover. I think what we're talking about is, I don't want to call them elitist, but they are elitist. I don't care if your product goes for spinning rods or fly rods. I like the product.
Yep.
But you have a lot of people that are not that way. They're all about everything's fly fishing or everything's spinning. That's it. But I don't think those are, they're huge. You know what I mean? I don't think they're a big part of your market. Of course, I might be wrong. I'm not going to say I'm right, but your stuff is good. It speaks for itself. It'll handle itself. It'll take care of all the criticisms because your product is good. And that's the best thing you can do. What you're doing is make a good product and
Which I guess
continue.
is all I can control at the end of the day. Right?
At the end of the day. And you're doing a great job. We all love it here. I mean, it would have been great if I got a shirt, but that's another deal.
Yeah.
But your product's outstanding. You know,
I'll send
got
you one of
great
my
stuff.
shirts, Gary.
I appreciate that. But your product stands on its own. I wouldn't be worried about those guys. Those
Yeah.
types
I think
of
it- I think it-
now,
Because if you think about it, I think the reason why you're more social media popular on, or at least market wise, if people look at your site, they're thinking of, they're gonna associate your gear.
Right. It's association.
Gear guys are, when you're throwing gear, your mentality's different between gear and fly fishing. If you're a fly fisherman, you are a gear nut. I don't know why it is. It's just like, there's some minimalists out
oh,
there.
it's more attention to detail, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
to
thinking
what I
about
said earlier,
shit.
like the
Take
fact that
care
I
of
can
yourself.
throw Ryan's flies, that
Right
he
back.
took the time to tie, and he thought through, like, oh, I live in Colorado at this altitude and it's this time of year. Like, yeah, totally next level. In a nutshell, right? Like that's
Because ours,
versus
ours
what
is
you're
our-
getting at.
yeah.
Conventional, it's
we're as good as
I'll
our
throw anything out there.
we're
Yeah.
as good as our gear as we are in the water. But when
Yeah.
I'm throwing, like, I just sitting there mentally thinking it to myself, when I'm gear fishing, mine's more of the product that I'm using. What am I
Yeah.
using? A rattle trap? Am I
Yep.
using this? I'm not. I even tend to notice that I don't take my bag with me. I just take like a little. I'm more worried on what I'm throwing than what I'm using. But when I'm fly fishing, it's almost the opposite. It's just like I want to make sure I have the good gear. Hey, I know I need the nippers because I'm going to be cycling through flies a lot faster. So it's more of a priority tool fly fishing than it is with gear fishing, and all that. And so, because I can sit there and throw spinners and all that, or rooster tail, whatever I have on my gear for hours.
That's
And
true.
but when I'm doing fly fishing, I'm rotating flies through so much, so it's more of a priority tool. I want to make sure that, hey, it's got to be a good tool. It's got to keep up to what I'm doing. But if I'm
Yeah.
using it less, then it doesn't matter. It's really, honestly, it's not going to matter if I buy a $30 one or a $200 one, because I'm not going to use it as much. So
But it's gonna last
yeah.
longer though.
for
the guys that understand
it will,
that.
and the guys that understand that are going to be like, okay, yeah, this is gonna, it's sturdy, it holds up, it's going to be good. I
Yeah.
can throw it in the box, and if it gets wet, who cares?
Yep.
And so it's just like, it's a simpler life in a way to gear fish, which is no disrespect to gear fishing. It's a simpler life than it is when it comes to fly fishing.
Yeah. I would agree. Like when
And-
I got
but you know what they're gonna tell you? Like the exact opposite. Right. I mean, it's all perspective,
And-
and I'm with you. I tend to agree with you.
Yeah.
So like that dedicated spin fisherman or conventional fisherman is going to say, well, I'm using the top water spinner bait to get over the weeds and drop down at certain depths. I mean, there's always
And which is, dude, I had thousands of
re-
dollars when I gear fished of like, I have to use this freaking
Oh, yeah.
jig or this bait to chase, to hit
Yeah.
this hole to be able to get the depth that I want, and it is priority on both sides. I mean, there's definitely tech sides on both sides, but crossing over, you become a gear nut when you're fly fishing. You're more of and when I say gear nut, if you're listening, I'm not saying spin guys don't give a shit about their gear. I mean, dude, it gets nutty. Trust me, I've spent money on
I've got
reels,
some, I know.
rods, and line. It's. But when it always came to nippers, when I was in gear, I didn't give a shit. That wasn't my priority when I was fishing with gear. But it's a huge priority because it's a huge part of it when you're fly fishing.
Yep.
And so, I mean, it's just like, so if you're listening to this, no disrespect to gear guys, I still gear fish. We're all assholes.
And we haven't even
here.
talked yet about ice fishing. I mean, I could see
I
ice
love
fishing.
ice fishing.
Hell yeah.
All
This would
day
be
with
that,
amazing.
this thing crushes in an ice tent, man. It's like you stick that right to the tent rod. I mean,
oh, I miss ice fishing
but
so
that-
much.
Yeah, it's interesting, but I'm getting to the point where, and I get this might be behind the scenes look after meeting with all, but a lot of these companies they'll sell the same product under a different brand for different prices and whatever. Fly fishing versus conventional. I'm trying to do things a little different maybe than most, and I look at that as that's weird and shady, and
right.
I want to stand on a product that works for everybody and blah blah. You know, is it perfect? No.
Yeah.
Is any product perfect? No. Like, but I'm gonna get as damn well close as I can, right, to being perfect for everybody. Like, that part's never gonna stop. So why would I change why would I rebrand Lid Rig to sell it to somebody that likes to fish for bass over trout? Like, and that happens with every big company out there, and people have no idea that nobody knows who owns who behind the scenes. But there's like a mafia.
Yeah, it's
on the
scary.
Big companies.
The industry behind the industries, it really is. I've had the pleasure of linking up with rod companies and gear companies, and it's like you said, it's a huge mafia where you realize it really funneled down, and it is like locked doors. And once you get past a certain point,
like me.
yeah, once they get past a certain point, I hate to say it, it's a good old boy program, and it's a blood program. It's either you pull somebody in that's from the group, or somebody dies and you just happen to inherit something. And it's just like, holy shit.
Yeah, and more so that yeah, I'm learning that firsthand. And to me, the fact that people are not looking at me, I'm moving the needle for some of these big companies is like laughable. Like, you know, they need to be doing a much, but like, I'm just getting started. And if they're already worried about me, just keep on trying to keep up with me and see what happens. Like,
I got a question.
You know, it's too big. Yeah.
And you don't have to answer it if you want to. And this is what a lot of people will say, or a lot of people ask that probably want to know the answer, but just don't know how to answer it. Since you are in both lanes of the highway going down the fishing industry,
as far as conventional and fly fishing,
and so and you've dabbled on both.
I don't even know if I can say that yet, though.
And so, well, you've played around and understand the concept of what it would take to run both sides. What is, like I said, and we can, I'll delete this. So this is an honest question, as knowing somewhat of the industry, and if we need to take this out, we will, and edit this. Why are the prices different on both sides of the path for the same product? I don't know if you are very tight on that. but it's
I am, but it's uh, there's probably more to it than what I'm going to tell you. But it's
like I said, you don't have to answer this question, or you can answer it and we can just take it out. But
well, I think market size is a big player. I mean, we're talking like billions, 10 billion for conventional versus one, if that,
it's,
fly fishing, right? So,
yeah,
but it's, you ask Joe Schmo walking around New York City, what does a fly fisherman look like? He's going to tell you it's some old guy wearing a bucket hat that's retired with a shit ton of money standing in a river,
yep.
like looking for ways to
Gary.
burn his money.
They look like
Yeah. You, I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that's wrong, but that's if you're not in the fly fishing space, that's how it's looked at.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you mean it's not a river?
More or less. Yeah.
I thought it, man. When I got into fly fishing, it
Yeah.
was scary. I was like, dang, my wife actually got me a rod. Okay, I guess I'm into this now. You know what I mean? Because I always looked at it like it's an expensive sport. That's how it is viewed.
Yeah.
It is. I just started a friend of mine. He just spent $1,500, waders and fly rods, lines, and everything.
It's
Yep.
It
intimidating.
is an expensive sport.
You
And
have
that's
to
the
do
thing.
your research to be able
Yep.
to find out what, like, where you can afford to get into it. I mean,
Yeah.
I hate to say it
But-
even now, with everybody and their brother jumping into the industry. I mean, everybody and their brother is a rod maker now, and they're a product maker. But
That's what I'm saying. They're all the same. That same factory makes the same.
right?
probably shouldn't.
I'll
just stop there.
we'll
But,
keep it there, but
yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's just like, what the hell? Why? And it's scary.
And I think, and you know what the coolest part about fly fishing is, in my opinion, is for especially for those listening that are on the fence and thinking about getting into it, is you really do get out of it what you put into it.
100%.
And what's awesome right now.
So
it's
not true,
so
dude.
amazing.
I've been trying to be a good fisherman for so long.
Most of us, let me rephrase
You
that.
guys
Most of us,
tie flies for me.
You know, Scott, if you only fish once a month, it's like if you only golf once a month, you're not going to get a lot better quick.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, what I'm getting at is you can go out and yes, you are going to have to buy a rod. You are going to have to buy a reel. You are going to have to get the essentials. Do you need waders? No. Are they nice to have? Absolutely. You're probably going to want them down the road, but you don't have to have all that day one. And you don't even have to go. There's so many great companies with warranties. That keyword warranty. You never want to get something without a warranty, but these companies, you can afford it. You know what I mean?
No, dude. Okay, so Lid Rig doesn't have a warranty, technically.
But you're like, if the lid rig falls apart,
Yeah,
and I
you're
call,
getting a new one.
you're gonna get a new one. But that's because you stand behind your product. You know.
You're damn right. That's lost, right?
And you don't need to do it with a warranty card that you may or may not fill out, may or may not mail in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that company
Because-
2 years from now says, sorry, you never mailed in your warranty card, so I can't
Exactly.
replace that for
Yeah,
you.
because people are lazy. I mean,
Yeah.
we're in a lazy generation, and it's not a bad thing. It's just how it is. I mean, I if I had to, like, I don't even in buying this, if it had a warranty card like I've got with other products, hey, register, it's free, lifetime warranty. I'm not fucking registering it.
Right.
I am not going to take the time to punch in freaking whatever goddamn receipt that I threw away as soon as I bought this thing.
Wait, so you're not going to buy replaceable blades?
No. I wouldn't. I honestly, I wouldn't. I'd just go out and buy another pair of nippers that were cheaper and less shitty.
Exactly.
And it's just like, it's like I don't want to have to.
I'm
do
playing.
warranties.
I'm playing 3D chess over here.
And, and I love it. I love that you're like, no, it's not a warranty. I'm just gonna give you my word. And we're gonna make sure the shit's right.
Well, yeah, and not
Yeah,
every company.
and what pisses me off, there are some great fly fishing companies where I've broken a rod and they'll take care of it. But that's, as the bigger fly fishing gets, the more they're going to try to take advantage of the market. right? Which is the mold I'm really interested in. I'm trying to keep fly fishing what it is as far as a community, not even fly, just fishing.
Yeah.
Like if I meet a conventional fisherman at a bar in an airport in Illinois, I'm gonna talk to them about fishing.
Yep.
Like there's a common mutual respect there, whether it's verbalized or not in the greater landscape. But it really ticks me off. And Brian, you hit the nail on the head when you're going to charge me what to replace what that I paid what?
Yeah, been there,
Like,
done that. Yeah.
Screw you. Like,
Exactly.
do you want me to use your product or not? Like you're actively trying to lose me as a customer is how I look at it. And that doesn't, that's not how I like to do business. Granted, I mean, you got to scale, you got to make money. I get it. You got to make money, but I don't know. It's not all about the money at the end of the day, and more about community. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry, I ran, but that might have been the way.
That's what I
talking
love
right
about
there.
that's what I love
Yeah.
about your theory and the way you do your business is you're truly doing it for the customer, and that is whether we like it or not. When a company goes even from like your size to let's say the bigger market size, they lose that. They don't have that connection in there, and I hope you hold that connection forever. And I do. I mean, obviously, I want you to get big. I want you to be able to like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to go get a fucking warehouse. I'm gonna have to hire 20 people. Will the price go up?
But that's where
But I'm
That's
willing to pay
where-
for that price because your products is good.
I'm gonna get too big, and you're not gonna appreciate Lidrig as a brand.
No, I'm not gonna buy your shit anymore because
I'm not because he's in Bass Pro or whatever. Like,
oh, screw this
that's,
guy.
That's the dance, right?
And so, and I think that's what
it's fun. It's fun.
I think that's what I love having you on here is because it kind of lets people know that it might be on the edge of looking at your product that might not understand you, might not follow you, and that your followers understand that you're pulling the trigger and it's you. You are the face. You're coming out and being like, hey, this is here. How are you? You're shaking hands, and it's just like
I don't know. I'd say Dave's probably the face. I might be the brains.
well, yeah.
Whoa, whoa.
Dave's a good
like,
guy
We
to
can
know.
agree that you're not the face, but the brains part, I don't know if we can agree.
Yeah, I like to keep this behind the scenes for everybody's sake.
Right.
But you have that personality. You have that personal connection of like, man, and you have that heart into where if I can shake every single person's hand that's ever bought one of these, I do it in a heartbeat.
10 times over.
Yeah, and it's just like, and you get these bigger guys that are like, I've never seen anybody. I mean, I see my products out there, but I have no clue. I go walk by Joe going down the road, and the people that buy them would never know who that is either.
Right.
And it's just like when people jump around you in Lidrig and you have that connection, you have that kind of thing where if they meet you, they're gonna know who you are.
Oh yeah.
And I think
And-
that's
and
awesome.
That's
it grows
the
like
plan.
wildfire.
That's the
dude.
goal.
Yep. Like remember
I
that
don't
day
know.
when we were fishing, dude? Like we gave the rig to that one guy, and he was like, "Oh, dude, like this thing's awesome. I've heard so much about this. I'm gonna use it today, and if I like it, by the way," pulls out of his back pocket, "I know the owner of this fly shop over here, and I'll talk to him about it." Like it's just a wildfire, dude. It's going places.
And they're selling Lidrig now.
Awesome.
So
See, there you
Good.
go.
That
There you go.
works.
that's what it is, right? Like
Right.
somebody
yeah.
buys a Lidrig in North Carolina, and I send them some to drop off at Shucks. That's my customers are my best salespeople. Aside from my mom's probably my best sales. She crushes. She crushes.
Very nice.
She called me from Mexico the other day. They're on vacation. She's like, Scott, I'm going to send you an address. Like, I don't know if we can ship flid rigs to Mexico or what. I'm like, I'll figure it out, Mom. Like,
Heck yeah.
keep up the good work.
Yeah,
Still
That's
not
funny.
paid you,
Because
but-
there's 2 shops I'm waiting to open up, but one here in Albany and one here in Corvallis. I'm gonna go down. I haven't been there for a while because all this freaking shenanigans going on. But I'm gonna go down and I know the owners personally and talk to them. Bring mine down, freaking showing off, and
Well, I mean, how long have we been talking? Why are we just now doing this?
well, it's like I live in Oregon, so I mean, and they're close to the I-5 corridor.
So what?
it's
Everybody's a little slower in Oregon.
yeah,
That's
we're a
what he's
little slow-
saying.
We're a little
Yeah.
slower in Oregon.
You haven't figured that out yet,
That's,
Scott? Come on.
Yeah, you can sleep
Apparently,
in
you're
your
not
bed.
watching the
Come on.
news.
Yeah,
Trying to build-
and
Trying
I've
to build a
been.
dynasty over here.
It's like, God
Let's
damn! I
go.
thought you guys were buddies, dude. What kind of hell shit is this?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like everything's been kind of slow. I mean, I feel you on getting it started. I mean, I'm just starting a company now for woodworking and all that. Dude, mad respect for you for starting a company because I'm realizing, holy shit, it's a pain in the ass.
Well, dude, when I had free time, I did woodworking. I mean, nothing but it's similar to fly tying. Like there's that I don't know what it is. Is it a challenge? Is it perfectionism?
Yes, you're your
And
biggest critic, especially when it comes to that
I
stuff.
don't. Yeah, yeah. It's you versus the wood, you versus the fly. Are
Yep.
people gonna like what I build or what I tie? Or
Yeah,
there's something to that, and
I agree.
I freaking love it.
Which we should make
um,
some lid rig stuff. I should make
That
you
would be
some.
that'd be cool.
I just
Like wood lid rigs.
yeah, I did. Well, yeah, I just started making
Is
stuff
that-
like this. It's like I whipped this out the other day,
That's cool, man. I like that.
and so make
Wait, what is that?
it's all. So this is the unit. This is the division I was in, and I mean threw it on like an American flag style, and then I put it on wood and cut everything out, stained it, burned it, and all, did all that stuff to it. But that's the kind of stuff that I'm getting back into. I actually do big flags like the one behind Dave.
Yeah, he
Um,
made these.
Yeah, I made all the fish. I
Did
made,
Dave, did Dave pay for that one?
he did
I was
actually.
the first
Dave
purchase.
was my first customer.
Oh, Jesus.
So-
Wasn't even offered a discount code. I-
Yeah, he was my
With full
very
price.
first customer. That was the very first flag that was ever
Good.
sold and purchased. And so
Awesome. That is a cool story right there.
Hell yeah.
yeah, and it's kind of cool how it comes around, and now I get to see. It's cool because I usually don't get to see my product out
Yeah.
and about. It's usually once I sell it, I don't
I
hear a
can
lot.
tell you what, man, it's a good feeling. It's a really good feeling.
Yeah, and so it's like holy shit.
I'll
spent
buy
time on that.
one.
So I'd love to get
Sign
one.
me
I've
up.
actually been thinking about how we can incorporate the logo and like a flag and stuff like that and make it cool and do all stuff. I'd love to make you one.
Very cool. Well, Scott, it's been awesome chatting with you, man, and thank you for coming on. Before we kick you out of here, I want to give the floor to you, man. Is there anything that you want to tell the listeners? Floor is yours. Just words
Yeah.
of wisdom or anything, man.
Yeah, I'm literally just seeing in the sidebar chat your list of questions that I was supposed to answer. I don't think we answered any of them. So
All right. We did on the river trip. At least we tried to.
Yeah, other than that, no. There's no words of wisdom or I mean, I do get a lot, I guess. People have enjoyed watching Lidrig grow as a company, as a product, as a brand, I guess. And, you know, why didn't I think of that? Or I've got this idea all the time, right? And I mean, when you sit on a boat for 5 hours drinking beers, guys are going to have ideas, and everybody's like, but again, it's executing on those ideas. I've helped a bunch of people. The bigger Lidrig gets, the more people I can help execute on those ideas, because I've learned the hard way in fly fishing and outside of fly fishing. It takes a freaking village, and you guys are a part of that, very much so. You know, keep the community growing. It's a team effort, and if you like a product, if you like a person, just support them in any way you can. And you guys are a true testament to that. So it's humbling from where I'm sitting to even be talking to you guys, and I appreciate all the kind words and support that you've given. So thank you.
Appreciate it,
Well,
bro.
it was great to have you on here, man.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Heck yeah.
All right,
I love
everybody.
Team
you
Lid
guys.
Rig.
Code word brown trout to enter the Lid Rig giveaway.